I'm JB, your sports guy.
And I'm VK Jones.
We represent the Hash It Out Show.
And you're watching the FanView podcast.
Y'all already know what it is. Another episode, FanView podcast. We in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is. I'm that boy Fred.
Coach Hurricane Hand back at it again.
And listen, man, one of the first times we're actually collaborating.
Yeah.
With another podcast.
Another New Orleans own podcast.
Yes. Y'all already know what it is. Listen, y'all go ahead and introduce. I see, man, my man got the shirt on already. It is the Hash It Out podcast, the Hash It Out show. Y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves to a lot of the guests that we are having the show with.
What's going on, everybody? I am JB, your sports guy. I am the founder of the Hash It Out show. You can catch us Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:00 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube pages JB, the sports guy.
And I'm VK Jones. I am the co-host of the Hash It Out show. And you can like, tag, share, and subscribe to the Hash It Out show. And it's good to partner with this guy here. We go way, way back. And at the same time, man, it's good to be here on FanView.
We appreciate it. First of all, everybody get subscribed. If you're looking at FanView on YouTube, it's FanView Podcast. If you on IG, it's FanView Podcast. If it's TikTok, FanView Podcast.
TikTok.
Yes. FanView NOLA if you are on X.
Yes.
And don't forget to subscribe to us if you're still on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We can't stop. We won't stop. That's what we do. We ain't going nowhere. Best podcast in the goddamn state, damn it.
Ask your
Stand
mama.
on it.
Ask your mama about it.
Ask your mama, ask your friend, tell a friend, do whatever you got to do. But we like to start our podcast off and asking every guest that comes on our show, man, about y'all journey. You know, talk about your journey. Talk about how the Hash It Out show came all together, man. Talk about where y'all guys come from and how all this came together.
Well, I'm from right here in West Wego, Louisiana. Yeah, I am. Right here.
Ooh,
Born and raised.
Police.
Boy, that boy went to Worley.
I didn't go to Worley.
Were you with the Ford?
No, I went to Prom Sucker.
Prime sucker.
School.
Oh, Lord.
We don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that's at.
What is that? Bayou
Elementary
Finette?
Avenue and 4th Street right there.
Oh, my God.
But went to Prom Sucker, went to Shaw, went to LSU. Got my own taekwondo school right there in Barataria.
There you go.
A 4-time world champion, and I'm a 6th-degree master instructor. But with that being said, I needed something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, let me go back into, doing podcasts, because when my co-host here, VK Jones, had his own show, I was his co-host. So I got with him, and we also got with our other friend, George Peppers, who does the show with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's start off a podcast called The Hash It Out Show. We talk about sports. And for about 2 years now, we've been up and running.
Mm-hmm. Shit.
And then VK, like you one of the pioneers in this game. You know, you collab with us many a time when we was going live a couple of times.
Yeah.
You call it with one of our co-hosts, G Sports. You and him have done a couple of things with Crescent City
Sports, yes.
You know, so you everybody knows who VK Jones is, even though you went to the wrong high school. I never let you.
Those are the facts.
You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying.
Well, I might have went to the wrong high school, but I'm a proud graduate of the St. Augustine High School, 1997, and I am from the city of Marrero. So, here's the thing. There was a good bit of us West Bankers that went up to 2600, so best believe that. But we love our school, but we support them all the way. But sometimes
AP Toro, baby.
But hey, I'm like this, man. I'm a supporter of the Purple Knights. I have a good friend of mine that's the head coach right now, Nick Foster. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Nick, man. Nick has done episodes with us too.
Yes.
Shout out to Nick, man.
Yes, Marrero, baby. That's what we do. We take over
Marrero. His dad coached me and a lot of West Bankers, man. So he's little brother to me, and we support him. And I'm one of maybe the realest kind of St. Aug fans. I'm more humble than anything.
Y'all embraced y'all embraced the Edna Car Cougar.
Sure did.
I'm like this,
Y'all
but
embraced the Cougar.
The Cougars owned St. Aug for a minute, and then Nick Foster ended that. So that was kind of.
Yeah, I don't know how he did.
How
No,
he
he
ended
ended.
How he ended?
They lost last year.
What's the record?
No. The record.
Well, another loss.
Hey, all I know he's got that one win against Carr, and probably the first time ever they beaten Carr ever. So to me, that stands out regardless of the record, because it's hard as I don't know what to beat that team in Algiers. It's very, very hard. You forgot about the 2020 year?
No, I didn't forget about anything, but he doesn't own Carr. Carr owns.
I didn't say that.
You said it.
Yo, you said it. You said it. You said it, bro. You said it.
Okay,
You said it.
let me rephrase that. Carr is still on St. Aug, but they're not undefeated anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
Better way to
There
say
you
it.
go. Better way to put it. I'm about to say y'all the same. Y'all the same. Y'all the same cabin with Warren Easton.
Well, I'm gonna say
Well, now
this.
they can't say that no more because they do got to win, and Jarryd don't have a win yet against.
Yeah,
Carr.
that is true.
That is true. Yes.
But the thing about Warren Easton, they can
true.
get over St. Aug right now that they have multiple trips to the state championships.
Well, fact.
Not
facts.
one, multiple, but they
Yes.
gotta win one. St. Aug got to break this curse that's been there for so long. It's not even funny. They have
When's that
not
gonna
been.
happen, bro. When's that gonna happen?
It might happen this season.
When was the last
It
time
might
St.
happen.
Aug won one? Was that with Michael Franklin?
1979
Oh,
is
y'all
the
didn't-
last time they've been to a state championship and won it.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
repping. I'm repping the shirt of a former head coach of St. Aug right
That's
now.
right. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Coach Dave.
And
Johnson.
I'm gonna
Coach
tell you
Dave
this:
Johnson.
if he would have stayed at St. Augustine, they would have got one.
Look. But see, this is the thing. I'm gonna call it a spade, facts. Y'all have had too much talent not to have a trip. I'm not even
Yeah.
talking, because as somebody who's won two, I can tell you that it is extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we won one. It took us 4 years to get back to the dance.
Yeah.
And we wanted that go round.
Yeah.
So, but the talent that y'all had, I think about my freshman year at Higgins, and our reward was you get to go play St. Aug at St. Aug. Cool, they ain't got no stadium. We'll play them at Tag Garden.
At the tag.
We were just talking. We you know, what I'm saying, we was like, man, they the purple pumps, boom, boom, boom. Then you like, then when you stand out there, you got a grown man in Sylvester McGrew. You got a grown man in Michael Franklin, Akeem Jolly,
Akeem Jolly.
the
Akeem
twins.
Jolly.
It was like, come on, man, and how that team didn't win a state championship was crazy. Then fast forward, my senior year, my last game was against St. Aug in the state in the playoffs. They had Ronell at quarterback, but they also had the law firm and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis at running back. They don't make it past the second round. Like, they barely beat us.
Man, I forgot about Ben Jarvis Green.
And
That's
they
a
don't make
name.
it past the second round.
I forgot about Ben
Then
Jarvis.
probably one of the best teams in St. Aug history that's not talked of enough, the Crutchfield team when it was Fournette's sophomore year when they had
Tyron.
when they,
Actually, his senior year.
no. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about when they had when Pettigrew was still there. They had the whole offensive line went D1 because the senior year
That was actually David Johnson's second year.
David Johnson's second year.
That was his second
no.
year.
I'm talking. It was Crutchfield had. I'm talking about Crutchfield. The year that Crutchfield, it was Crutchfield's first year.
And that was actually Leonard's senior year.
No, Crutch had him as a junior and a senior.
Crutch had him 2 years, I believe.
Crutch had him as a junior and senior because I was at Albany. We played against him.
So this is after Dave.
This is when Yak left. Yak had left.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. He did have him 2 years.
Yeah,
He did have him 2 years.
Look,
Yes.
But
yes,
but
he
Dave,
did.
when Dave had him, they still had Stanley Morgan over
He
there.
still had Stanley
Stanley
Morgan and stuff.
Stanley Morgan over there?
Now that year, his second year, they had a great chance of winning it and
Yeah.
came out short against St. Thomas More.
St. Thomas More.
The senior year for Leonard Fournette, I still don't get it to this day. It wasn't surprising that Rummel came to play because it is hard to beat a team twice in one season.
Jay Ross, one of the best coaches.
Thank you. He was
Period.
one of the best, and he prepared them. And it was a great ball game. It was just the fact of the matter is, my only thing was why the ball wasn't in Leonard Fournette's hands when they got the ball back one more time.
I think
That
the
was my
fan
only thing.
base is upset at the fact that they see all of this talent and it's not getting to the championship. I think that's what they're looking at, and that's why they always are upset.
Yeah, you see about the
Agreed.
pedigree of players that have come through St. Aug that played D1 football. somebody, Tyron's gonna probably be potentially be a Hall of Fame NFL player.
Yeah.
And I had Coach Jack on the show. He's mentioned that he's by far. He said not by far. He said that coaching.
He's the second best player.
He's the second best player, defensive player that he's seen since Darryl Johnson. And for a guy like that, not to play in the state, it's like, man, that's a lot of guys that's come through St. Aug and now have played D1 football. Some play pro. I mean, Stanley's still in the pros.
Yes.
Stanley Morgan's still in the pros.
He's doing great. He's really doing good. Still out there. You look at those past teams. I mean, could have got there, but you look who they lost to. It wasn't nobodies. The majority of the teams that St. Aug lost to went on to win the state championship.
But are we making
excuses?
It's not.
No, we're not making excuses at all.
All right.
You look at that Michael Franklin team when they lost 17-0 to West Monroe. That West Monroe team was probably the best West Monroe
That's
team
2001?
I ever seen.
That's 2000.
No, it was 99.
99?
99.
They lost to Brock?
Yeah.
They lost to West Monroe, and it was 17-0 at
The
that.
same year Shaw went to the championship.
Same year Shaw went to the
2000.
championship. And Shaw was very fortunate.
No Sharon. This is Carlos Rochelle at quarterback.
They was very
Carlos
fortunate
Rochelle's a
that
sophomore.
night that 5 turnovers from John Ehret helped them get them to the
Hey,
dome.
that's how you
No
lose games.
excuses. Exactly.
Protecting the ball.
And that Ehret team was unbelievable.
Facts.
No, they wasn't.
That was
That
unbelievable.
Everett team
That
was
team was
actually
good.
a better team than
It
that
was
Shaw
really
team.
good.
Man, look.
It's just the Shaw
Everett-
defense.
No,
caused
Everett team
turnovers.
is unbelievable.
That team there, I gotta
No
admit,
Everett team.
that Everett
You-
2000 team. Yeah,
no,
I know
no.
how you say it.
No
You got
Everett
niggas.
team. No
That's a
Everett team
hurricane right
unbelievable.
over there, baby.
They had daddies now.
Hey,
That's what
no,
it is.
no West Jeff team is unbelievable. West Jeff is horrible too.
I don't
Hank
know.
Tierney days-
I
Hank
don't
Tierney
know.
days was favorite.
West Jeff horrible.
The 97 team was a hell of a
I'm talking to you, Marley favorite, right?
I'm like this. That West Jeff 97 team was an unbelievable squad. And it was too bad for them that they lost in the second round. I'm going to definitely say that.
10-0
Chris Cooper and
10-0
Chris
team
Cooper and company was
From West
was
Jeff.
nothing nice.
West Jeff-
10-0.
West Jeff was. Hey,
That was
Chris.
picked to go to the dome.
Look,
That
let me
year.
tell you something. Chris
luck.
Cooper is probably the best linebacker in high school football that I've ever seen.
I agree.
I'm not talking
I
about
agree.
I'm talking about that I've played against, played with, coached against, seen with these eyes. Chris Cooper was the Ray Lewis of the West Bank, and he struck fear in everybody.
Absolutely.
I'm just like
he was that dude. I'm like, I don't know if you
I
ever
knew he
seen.
could play.
I don't know if
Knew he could play.
I don't know if you remembered him, JB, but look at some pass film, bro. I mean,
that boy was
Chris
proud.
Cooper. I mean, I remember against EJ. He the EJ running back just getting the ball, just getting the hand off, and that's what you see. That's what you see. That's how good Chris Cooper was. But back to myself. I'm from the city of Marrero, like I said. I've been in communications. I've been in media for 18 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But then on top of that, I worked as a sports information director at Oklahoma Community College. I was in Mississippi. I was gone for a little while. Came back not too long ago. Came back with my daughter now, who's 4 years old, and she's
Congratulations. on
getting
that,
getting used to it. I'm saying, to go through a lot of hard times. I lost my spouse months ago, so it was a lot on me. But at the same time, God is good. But recently, I just finished with my bachelor's degree over at Nicholls State University.
man.
So, things are going to open up a little more for me. But
Thibodeau stand up.
yeah, so absolutely. But me and this man here, we went through a lot. He was a co-host on a VK Jones show in the past. And at one time, I had to shut it down. But he started doing a wrestling podcast. He took what I taught him. and
Talking
he took-
WWE over there.
Yeah.
WWE, AEW. Yeah. Look at you.
So he does it
The
under
CM Punk.
over,
No, I can't stand him, but anyway.
over the top rope wrestling. He does.
Y'all both
know.
bad for that.
What?
Let me let you know, man. Y'all both bad for that.
He talking
Oh,
wrestling.
my goodness.
It's wrestling. You
I'm
know, like
familiar,
wrestling?
with the, I'm familiar with the characters.
So he just
I'm a huge Randy Orton fan, man.
Yeah, that's one of the best ever.
nice.
Hands down.
So he comes on and starts it, and all of a sudden he decided to do a sports one called Hash It Out. He came to me. We did maybe a couple episodes or two. Then he started to do a little more of it, and he said, "Hey man, I need you. I need you. You got connects on a lot of things. I need your help. And I was like, you know what? I can do that. I can do that. So I decided to be team player, and I've been team player on his side for
He
a couple
forgets
years now.
sometimes he's a team player because he's so used to being in that lead role. And I gotta be like, yo, go your role, VK.
Man, I had to humble myself sometime. I'm admit it. But he always leans towards me, and he always says that, hey, plain and simple, if it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be for Hash It Out. It wouldn't be Hash It Out show. I created it, but you the one that really helped us jumpstart and get things
Without
going,
a doubt. Without
you
a
know what
doubt.
I'm saying? So I'm humble to be a part of it, and like he said, like we're team, we're equals, but sometimes we do have to check ourselves a little bit just to make sure that we're on the same page. And we had our little disagreements, but at the same
And we're gonna
time,
have more disagreements. It's
of
gonna happen.
course, it's gonna happen. That's what we're human beings. But the good thing about us, and including George Peppers, and he's been in Credit City Sports for years himself as well, and me working in Credit City Sports, it's just been a blessing that we've been doing what we had to do, and we're growing our brand. That we're started the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week that you can find on tsbnsports.com. That we do great matchups. We did Covington Erie last week, and we got some matchups coming up against Terrebonne Kennedy. We got Turlins Catholic, St. Charles Catholic, Arid and Orrin Easton, Carr and John Curtis. We got Westgate on the schedule as well. So we're gonna dig in and get to the best teams in the state and everything else. We're gonna think about your school St. Helena down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, man.
No. I said we're gonna think about y'all. We're thinking about y'all and they meet. You know what I'm saying? We definitely want to go
next
deep
week.
there. You know what I'm saying?
That's next week. But,
Next week.
Oh, that's next week. Wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. As somebody, so like me and Fred have known each other from
youngin.
Yeah. And then it's like his uncle and my grandfather were hip to to each other from the same area, went to the same elementary. It's crazy. We went to the same. It is rare to find that. We went to the same elementary school, same middle school, same high school. And the one thing, and this is for everybody like who's like starting business with friends or just joining in something. Trust the process.
Yeah.
Yes.
And get comfortable being uncomfortable, because nobody's going to be 100% right.
Correct.
The business, whatever business you jump into,
correct.
The business, when we jumped into this, like when Fred brought me on, they were still doing it on air. Like I'm talking about like just strictly radio. When I came on, like they had just did like their third or fourth live show. Then when we brought G on, it went from like just like Facebook Live to like we broadcasting on all channels.
All channels.
Yes.
And then G was the push to like, hey, podcast is where it's at.
Where it's at.
Now, from me and Fred's standpoint, at first, it was like, man, live is what we know.
Yeah.
That G was, it took that uncomfortable conversation of, hey, if we don't do this, we're gonna get left behind. And this is taking a 2-year break. Just taking a 1.5-year break from after COVID. So that in itself is one, you gotta understand, it's the team doing the betterment for the company.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And is there any egos involved?
Correct.
Right.
And if
you can get blinded when you got egos in the way, you can't
Without a
see.
doubt.
You can't see. You can't forecast what you trying to get to or where you're trying to go if a bunch of egos are involved, especially if those egos are invested. You're invested in your ego.
Yeah.
Right.
You could get blinded by trying to see where you're trying to head to, and your road starts to look
Wavy.
Yes.
Very.
That's the one thing I say about VK and George Peppers. We sit down and we'll talk. And VK might have a question, and we'll talk about that question with answers. And we may agree with VK, we may not. Same if I ask them, hey, I thought about this, what y'all think? But we talk about everything first before we put everything into action.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And with me and him, it's crazy because we kind of met by coincidence, because at a time, a couple of our friends, we had a little UFC club. We used to meet up at a certain spot in the West Bank.
It's hard for me to follow USC.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of hard now, but see,
Me doing Taekwondo is easy.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's hard for me as a fan who enjoys and digs into sport. It's hard for me to follow the athletes like John Bone Jones. Yes.
Yes.
You know,
the namesakes, like the Silvers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like even the McGregor, like the big names
big
is like,
names.
but like that's to me like that's the downfall of the UFC because if the big names is the only thing that can bring you along, you're in trouble. That's where boxing had hit its stalemate.
Right.
Because like when we was all growing up and stuff, you talking about like y'all a little bit older than us, so you talking about y'all got to see Riddick Bro at Riddick Bro.
The heavyweight era.
Yes.
Y'all
The
got
heavyweight
to see,
era.
Yes.
you know,
Correct.
all the Sugar Rays come hit prime. Y'all got this, so we like our first major star was Roy Jones.
Roy Jones.
Like that we
Exactly.
like we came like Tyson was already there.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Then
Evander Holyfield was already there.
you know what I'm saying? Then you get like so we we didn't get to see the Evander Holyfield versus George Foreman. Y'all did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We come into but like look what we came into. We came to Chavo Guerrero.
We came into
Felix
Oscar De La
Trinidad.
Hoya, Felix Trinidad,
You know what I'm saying?
Oscar De La Hoya.
You know the
Pretty
start.
boy Floyd.
You know,
yeah,
you know what I'm
pretty
saying?
boy. The ending of Bernard.
Yes.
The one the start and
Winky
and
Wright.
Start and end, yeah.
You know, like the Antonio Tarvers that
Winky Wright.
came in
Winky
came in
Wright.
with. You know what I'm saying? Like we had like it was you had top dogs, but
Zab.
that
Exactly.
Prince, you know, like,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So it was like you got to ride that wave, and then like I want to say, you say Lennox Lewis. Would we say Lennox Lewis?
I would say toward the end of the.
I say right when Lennox Lewis.
We kind of really like
It's like it
the
dropped.
the two Ukraine brothers.
Vladimir Klitschko.
Klitschko. Yeah.
Yeah, right after them, it just took a horrible because like all you had was Mayweather.
And Pacquiao. That's it.
That's it.
That's
You had
the only
no
two they
and
can market.
you had no heavyweight.
None.
That was because by then the Klitschko Vladimir, who was the reigning champ, he started going. He got into politics.
He got into politics.
So like that would like the welterweight was like
where it was.
you know so
Yes.
like
But thank God for people like Tyson Fury and also what's the other
Deontay
fighter?
Wilder?
Yes,
Deontay
Deontay
Wilder,
Wilder.
he
Yeah, they
Errol
basically
Spence now
exactly.
it's starting to catch back.
That's
up.
true, but
Starting
I
to
also
come back
have to
up.
give credit to different promoters now putting their companies on different TV stations. Like you have Top Rank on ESPN, you have PBC that may be on Fox or something else.
Correct.
Also, you got Showtime. So now we got different promoters with their companies on TV. So now we can promote more boxers. And
Right.
who out of these boxers on TV that we can market? Here we are. We have a whole lot. Crawford. You have Spence.
Tank.
Yes.
Tank.
Yes, you got Tank.
Javante Davis.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
That's right.
that's it.
Shakur.
And to
Yeah.
say this
Shakur Stevenson.
because he's the box like everyone like he's the boxer. Like if you talk about if you broke our podcast down to specialists, I'm the football.
Yeah.
He's the boxing.
Yeah.
G would be the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's like if you like
Yeah.
all right, if we about to have a 3-way fight and we about to fight against something, that's who you gonna pit
Yeah.
us up against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for like when he like for the longest he was like, man, boxing's gonna come back, man. It's horrible right now. Right now UFC taking over, but then I think what killed the UFC was no loyalty.
No loyalty.
Some of the bigger
point.
people, like think about like Brock was more popular in UFC than he was in wrestling. When he it's like
I
when-
think Brock just popular overall.
well,
Should
well,
be popular
what I'm talking
overall.
about. He started like the following, like really took off when he was UFC. And like he stayed there for a while. Then he jumped back to
WWE.
But I
the
think
WWE.
I
Then
think
he just
Brock
kept going
bringing-
back and forth. And it's like who are you going to be loyal to? Like where is it's not like The Rock. Okay, so The Rock, like he went Hollywood.
Yes.
Totally different.
Totally
Like,
different.
it's
Him,
it's
Dave Bautista, they went
it's
to
not
movies.
like
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
not like they went to UFC, boxing, and all that. They went to a whole nother platform,
Correct.
and then will come back and they still in entertainment. So it's like it doesn't pull away from what you're trying to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to root for Brock, the football player, the UFC guy, or the wrestler. So it's like who are my loyalty?
I think with Brock, his popularity was so high that he brought a lot of wrestling fans over with him into the UFC. And I think that helped him so much to be that much marketable in UFC. But I don't think Dana White does it right when it comes to marketing these UFC fighters. I think he has his picks and choosers of who he wants to market. Like Conor is one. Yeah. When Anthony Pettis, who I know personally, because we was in the same organization, that was somebody he's off the get go and say I can market him. And in his company, so I think he has his picks and choosers of who he will market.
He did a horrible job with Cormier.
Oh yes,
yes, he did.
Yeah, he did a horrible job. Horrible.
But at the same time, Cormier he's great, but he can't be the greatest of all time. Sorry.
But the thing is this with that. But Dana White has what he does is he has a way of trying to keep himself in the limelight. To me, he has this kind of like Jerry Jones kind of like persona mentality.
Yes,
that he kind of keeps himself in the forefront of like UFC. And so he's also creating the brand to where he wants to be just as big as some of the fighters.
Yes.
And he's not fighting, but he's like the owner of this whole deal. So
I think what he tried to do is he seen how Vince McMahon was doing it. But Vince ain't never put himself, look, I'm Vince McMahon and this is the WWF. You know, at the time of the WWF, right. You know,
yes,
and Eric Bradshaw with WCW, they didn't do it like that. It's like every now and then they'll implement themselves in the storylines and stuff like that.
Right.
But it wasn't like you come to see me. Dana White like you got to see me. You got to see me. I could name countless of wrestling episodes where you didn't even see Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
And then his kids started getting involved too. Like, hey, do what y'all want to do. If it sells, it sells. Have fun with it.
Yep.
And it's like Dana was like, no. It's me. It's my company. Because there's no way in the world you lose a Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no lady, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think about like the early main say, well, everybody like, what the hell is this UFC? What the hell is the Octagon? What is all this stuff? And you lose your foundational piece.
Yes.
I think that's where they messed up at.
Yeah.
Wrestling never lost its foundational piece.
No.
I don't care how you feel about Hulk Hogan. You did Hulk Hogan, your Ric Flair.
That's right.
Your Ultimate Warrior.
You would even figure that way with Bret Hart. The way
the
whole foundation.
Shawn Michaels, yes.
Even though I wouldn't want to be part of the Hart Foundation because they don't make it past. What, 45? That foundation.
Bret like the only one that's still living.
They're still living.
The only one, yes.
Well, you know, Owen had the situation.
Yeah, unfortunately, correct.
Who fault was that?
Owen.
They part of the Illuminati. Damn.
That was crazy in itself. But
was he the Blue Angel or something like that?
The Blue
Blazer.
Blue Blazer.
And he went down in the blaze. Let me tell you.
Didn't he?
I remember that. That was the first ever pay-per-view my dad ever bought for me. Let's go, son. We gonna sit down. Yeah. Boom.
Did it become your last?
WCW. I'm like, what in the world? News. What's going on?
We're breaking news.
Yeah. I remember watching that like yesterday, man. And Jim Ross was like, how Jim Ross like, we got problems. I'm like,
nah.
Unfortunately,
it's crazy. But like I said, when we first met with the UFC group, and it was a coincidence that all of a sudden we started talking to one another, and he told me who his brother is, and I said I used to cover your brother years ago and everything. So we always still kicked it in around the UFC parts, and then all of a sudden I was like, we wound up getting contacts, and I was like, hey, need a co-host. You interested? Kind of try to talk a little sports. It's like, I don't know. I was like, just come in and just fill it out. And when he filled it out, first show, he didn't do too bad at all.
I did horrible.
Let's
keep it real.
I'm not gonna say horrible. He didn't do too bad. There was some good points and there was some bad points.
Sport game was subpar.
But second show, I don't know what happened. The switch just went off in the second show, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, I got a new co-host now." I'm like, "I'm good." So he always took a lot of pressure off me, and he took what I taught him and what he paid attention to, and took it to the next level. And then you talk about uncomfortable conversations. We had that before the football season. We had a little situation trying to get the game of the week on our feet, on everything going. But we had the uncomfortable it was more of a conversation of experience beyond experience. He has the experience of business. Me and George had the experience of media. And we had to have the uncomfortable conversation, which was a huge help to all of us, because we felt like, hey, let's put our heads together. And the most important thing, and a lot of times I learned in life, conversation would avoid all conflict. have a conversation. It don't have to be an argument. It might be disagreements. That's
Right.
fine. That's part of the conversation. But if it gets to an argument, this thing stops. But talk through it. Even if it gets heated, talk through it. Because some way, somehow, there's got to be a solution to this problem.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Now, we coming up on the greatest day of the year. Kick off the football, baby.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All ladies, I have my contracts waiting for y'all. Just want to let y'all know.
It's kick off.
Between now and December, baby.
It's kick off. It's kick off the football. You know, this will be the first week in the year where you're gonna have NFL, high school, and college going up into December. What are some of the things? And we're gonna go all around the room. What are some of the things that you're most excited about seeing for this upcoming football season? Whether it's NFL, high school, college, and what are some of the things that you're worried about?
Well, I love college football.
Mhm.
I love college football. I always travel to different football stadiums and just to have the experience the atmosphere. So I really want to see this year, how can Alabama bounce back from last year? With the talk of not having a quarterback at all during the spring and the summer, and we know Milroe is now the starter, but does Nick has the type of quarterback that can get him over the hump? Because now 2 years without a championship is kind of unheard of for Alabama. So can he get the right quarterback? He's going to have the defense. But I want to see, can Alabama get over this hump of having a failure season? Because it's championship or bust in Alabama. I want to see what Alabama's going to do this year. I'm very intrigued.
I mean, sound like a true Saban fan, a true Bama fan.
I'm a fan of Saban.
They got a lot of question marks in Tuscaloosa right now.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
The first time in probably his 17 seasons of being there now. Probably, obviously, we know the first year he was there.
No, I would say this is like the second time he had this. I would think the first time he had that was the year that Blake Sims was the quarterback. Because you got to think, people
was a
forget that he was a running back.
He was a running back.
And so, like, you switch his position and all that stuff, and you go win the national championship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got the defense. Do we have the offense to do what we need to do?
I can understand that one.
I think my it's exciting that all phases of football is about to go down. You know what I'm saying? I love all phases. I'm more of a college football fan out the three. You know, my thing I would love to see this year is a combine of LSU trying to do well. I know week one was kind of tough for them.
You say, well, what
Very
expectation you got there? What expectation
I
you got
expect
there?
them to hopefully make the college football playoff this year. So we'll see, but it's gonna be a long way to go because
Not
I'm
as hard
looking.
as you think.
I'm looking to hopefully that my other team gets there and they got a great chance after that.
Who's your
show.
other team?
Florida State.
How you have two teams?
Hey, let me tell you
I
something.
knew that was coming.
I knew it was coming, but guess what?
You like the song? You can give him this, or
I
you
can
give him that. You give him this, or you give him that. Man, hell no.
I can. Let me tell you something.
You're bad.com.
I know. Let me tell you something. I can do 3 things right now: praise God, pay taxes, stay black, and die.
That's four.
Four. Let's say 4. I miscounted that.
School education.
Look,
Look,
I told him man the other day he couldn't add.
Look, I can add, and all I
Purple
know,
night.
all I'm gonna tell you,
Goddamn purple night.
who has a degree right now?
Oh my God! Don't do all that.
Thank you.
I
So
would have mine
I'm
too.
not perfect. I'm not the brainiac, but look, I grew up being an LSU and an FSU fan. It's happenstance that they faced each other. And all I know, if they meet again in the playoffs, I will have to make a choice. I will have no choice but to make a choice. But at the same time, I'm very, very excited for both teams, but especially for Florida State. They got a great chance to really knock some doors off and possibly maybe have a chance to win a national championship after the bounce back year they had last season.
The only reason why they got any type of slight chance is because the ACC is like the paperback the paper bag that's floating on 4th Street right now.
Brown
That's true.
paper bag.
Anybody can get through that.
That's true. I got to give you that.
But here's the thing, though, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying this, when I was telling people before the game started. I said, listen, LSU, because of the conference they're playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're gonna have they can afford a loss.
Yes,
Yes,
correct.
they could. Yes.
You're still gonna have Alabama. You're still gonna have to face Auburn, Arkansas, and throughout the rest of Florida.
There's a chance you play Georgia.
There's a chance you play Georgia if they get to the SEC championship. So Tennessee with Joe Milton coming around the next few weeks. So you're gonna have that opportunity to play those high-ranked teams. But Clemson lost to Duke.
Exactly.
Clemson is done.
And let's just disregard the youth completely. Okay, I don't know. I don't care who's coaching. I know Cristobal did a good job at Oregon. I don't care. Okay, this is not the U of 2000. Okay,
No, not at all.
So Florida State can't afford a loss. They get one L. They don't have another team that's going to put them back into the conversation.
I agree.
It's better that LSU lost now.
Yeah,
And
yes.
later down the road.
And I'm not making. And everybody know I'm a diehard LSU fan. I'm not making no excuses, but you lose the best. You go into the game without the best defensive tackle in college football, not playing for some.
It's
for
all
some
hands on
incident
deck.
Something from years
You know
ago.
what I'm saying? It did. You don't have Dallas Turner, who's going to start. Who's your starting cornerback? That changes the whole day because Mekhi Wingo himself was wrecking shop. Then also bad. Just call it what it is. Horrible job by Brian Kelly in game management.
Correct.
After the first time you in the red zone, you go for it on 4th down, you don't get it.
Go for it again?
Take the damn points. Because it either could have been 17-7, and now Florida State is pressing. Instead, you kept going for it, and now they control the game. But
Now,
What about Harold Perkins being misused?
see, this is as a coach, I understand it. This is where you're showing everybody that one player is not bigger than the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Harold Perkins didn't know the scheme. He didn't even play against Florida State first go round.
Right.
They was like, "Hey, we just need you too athletic to be sitting on the sideline. Let's see what we can get you to be." He becomes a sack artist.
Right.
Yep.
But the ultimate plan was for him to be a middle linebacker. He had to learn the nuances of playing middle linebacker. What they did, he's got in the middle. Now he's still raw at the position, but that was the plan, and that was the conversation that Perkins and them had when he came here. Look, this is what I want to do. Nobody expected him to do what he did as a freshman. He was just freakishly athletic.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like Kiki back when Kiki Mingo was there.
Yes.
Kiki Mingo came in as a DN from high school.
Yes.
They wanted to try to put him at linebacker because of his frame. It was like, yeah, but this ain't. Then they say, you know what? We're going to switch to a 3-4 scheme. Now you get the best of both worlds. You're technically a linebacker, but we're using you as a DN.
Yes,
and he became like, the scheme is the scheme. Players make a scheme great.
Yeah.
Or if you play outside the scheme, you make holes in it. Because
I think that sometimes you can come in, you can recruit a kid, and you can have expectations of what you want them to be.
That's right.
However, but when you see what his freshman year and what you saw, whatever you had as a plan when recruiting, and now it has to shift. And so
That's what I agree with.
And so what I'm saying is he's a sack artist. So when I watched this game, particularly the second half, I saw a lot of plays where he was not called to rush the quarterback.
Yes.
And to me, that bothered me watching the game as a fan. I understand you got a scheme, but you got a player who I think needs to be lined up on outside of some left tackles. Somebody else may have to take this assignment on because his gift is being able to get to the quarterback. And I didn't see Jordan Travis looking like he was worried.
Right.
Let me ask you this. What if, just using your analogy, what if the way that they recruited was, all right, we can load up on the edges, but we don't have nobody in the middle. When you look at their depth chart, you look at their roster, you move them out the middle. Who the hell you going to put there?
Yeah.
It keeps you balanced. It's like, what's going to happen? Like, and people forget, this is year 2 for Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
So which means this is still a second. This is only his second. He's going into his only first recruiting cycle with players because like he inherited.
He inherited a team last year.
So this is his first recruit. So like
he inherited a team.
He's still in Matt House. This is really his first. Matt House don't even have a full year because when recruiting was going on, he was winning a Super Bowl with the he was losing the Super Bowl.
He was losing the Super Bowl.
He was losing the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. But like when he came on, recruiting was done. Like both recruiting period was over with. So it was. This is what I got. Let me boom, 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 boom. This is the type of players I need to make this work. Well, this is the players I got going into year 2. This is going to eliminate most of the holes right here, right now. Now, year 3, I think he goes back to the edge. Year 3, I think he goes back to the edge because just look at the type of people that they're recruiting.
That might be true, and I get that. However, if I have a skill set, and this is what people watch. This is what people watch. Mm-hmm. People don't understand the scheme. Fans don't understand the scheme. Fans just see outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so, based upon what we were watching in that game, we saw a guy, he was a lot of time in coverage, in space, and he's thinking. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's how you grow as a player. You got to be in these places. But in this particular game, especially that second half, I would have loved to see him rush him more and get back to what he can naturally do, what he was doing for the team. I get it, but
it's funny you say that because a player at your school, they did the same thing, and you didn't have a damn thing to say about it. Remember Rashad Gary?
Rashad Gary?
Yeah, he was a terror at a 3 technique.
Of course. Listen,
and then all of a sudden, you know what? He's 6'6", he 300 pounds. You know what we gonna do with him? Let him stand up and play linebacker.
Yeah.
What type of bullshit is that?
Of course. Foolishness. If I Michigan wouldn't winning that, why the Wolverine wouldn't get that damn thing? Why we winning that? You ain't had a problem with that.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like to me, like that, like.
They were saying they were doing the same fools with Jabril. We're going to move down the outside linebacker. What the hell we doing over here, Michigan? You already know I had problems with that. You got me upset over here.
Yeah, but hey, you talk about my school, I'm talking about your school. Goddamn.
But they doing that in Green Bay with that foolish Rashad Gary.
Look,
what the hell y'all doing over here?
You wonder why you ain't got no pass rush.
But I think I give Florida. But everybody, and overall, you got to Florida State. You got to give them a lot of credit. But the only other thing I'm excited for, and I'm gonna let Hen take over with this one. I'm excited.
You gonna let them take over? It's their show. You gonna let them take over? It's their show. I'm gonna let them take over.
I know it is their show. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pass it to you. See, I'm doing bad, y'all. I'm doing
bad.com.
Yes. I'm excited for Deion Sanders in Colorado.
Oh my God!
I'm loving. I'm loving every minute of it. All I'm gonna say is this. If they beat Nebraska, look out. Look out.
When did Nebraska get credibility like that? Like, beat Nebraska and put you on the top of the mountain.
No. It's just the fact that, hey, if you
it's
beat
Nebraska.
I know it's Nebraska, but at the same I'm like this.
First, man, I gotta stop you right there. I gotta stop right there. I gotta stop you right goddamn there.
If they beat Nebraska.
This is why. This is what I Prime is not like Coach, like it's not like Prime came in there and won with the roster that won 3 damn games.
They won 1 game.
I was trying to be nice. It's not like he came in there and won with the roster that Mel Tucker had. Right. He came in there with a whole new roster.
Of course.
It's not like TCU showed up with the same team that they played against
Georgia.
Georgia.
8 new offensive players.
They don't have a new quarterback, 3 brand new receivers, their best running back, a whole new offensive line, the defensive players.
8 different starters.
It's like
from the national championship.
It's not the same team, and they went down to the wire.
Yeah,
it's not like. Oh, it was not like oh man, you know it was a masterful outcome. Shedeur Sanders had a good game.
Great game.
You know what I'm saying? Travis Hunter, let's see if he could play 60 snaps the whole season long. Ain't gonna happen.
I don't think so.
And then we acting like we acting like Devin Hester ain't do this. We acting like Chris Gamble ain't do this. We acting like
Champ Bailey.
didn't do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like so, like this is not like this is the first time. No,
Dion. I mean,
then you talk
Charles
about
did it.
You talk
Champ
about
did
the
it.
yeah.
Chris Gamble did it.
Yes.
Then you talk about Nebraska. Nebraska had just got their coach during the spring in Matt Rule.
Mhm.
He didn't even get to recruit his players, nothing yet. So he's taking over a roster that wasn't that damn good.
He's taking over what we call a traditionally historic program from the 90s and the 80s.
Yeah,
and 70s.
yes. So you
But
can't-
since 2000, Nebraska, prior to that national championship, when they lost to Eric Crouch, won the Heisman, they got torched by Miami.
Yes.
They haven't been nothing since.
Nothing since.
They still trying to find another replacement for Eric Crouch.
Yes, they are.
That's just what it is. So like I mean, I guess because if Prime was any other person, this is my honest opinion. Okay. If Prime was, what's a white guy that got? Let's say Travis Kelce hung him up and started coaching football.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce go there, they say the same thing. Why? And he do the same victory. Why? Because he is bigger than the team right now. His brand is bigger than the team.
Mhm.
His brand is bigger than the goddamn Pac-12, whatever they in
yes.
right now. That's just the
They call it last of the Diamond Breed Conference.
that's all it is. So you know,
Conference is over next year.
he won, but people forget like the same thing that people get. He did the same thing in the SWAC and got that ass embarrassed the first year.
That's true.
He
That's
won
true.
the second year,
Yeah.
but that first year it was like
It took some. But here's my question, though. When we're talking about Colorado, when you look at their season, toward the end of this month, they got Oregon, and they have USC.
that's the If he do the same thing against those two,
Then we could talk.
We could have a
let's have that.
talk now.
Let's have
Yeah,
a conversation.
let's have a
Let's have a conversation.
conversation.
Let's have
I
a
agree.
conversation.
I'm
Nebraska ain't the team. They gonna roll over.
They're
Nebraska.
not. But I'm just saying, I'm excited for this one reason. Colorado is gonna give effort every week, and they're not gonna lay down. You think you're gonna beat them? It's gonna take you a minute.
I don't see.
That's all it is effort.
I don't
That's all.
agree with that because you gonna Oregon. You gonna
Right.
fight your team that like look. We got kids that didn't transfer in. That we grown into our system.
That's right.
And we got transferred.
That's right.
USC, we got transferred. We got Heisman Trophy. Like you didn't. It's not like you played a juggernaut. They ain't play nobody in the SEC. Like you do that against somebody in the SEC. Like all right, all right.
But not,
Hats off to you. You know what I'm saying? But right.
But to that point, like obviously Colorado has the most transfers of any school right now.
87.
Yes.
Right.
87.
And TCU follows right behind them. Now, here's the credit. TCU went to a national championship with all those transfers, right? Because they was like the most transfer team last year. They went to the national championship. No discredit to TCU, right? But here's the thing, right? What I watched when I saw this game, the skill position are the skill positions on any team, right? When you recruiting players, getting trenches, skills. I saw weakness in those trenches. That's
Big
where the
time.
game's going to start to change.
Yes.
Big time.
I saw weaknesses where I'm saying to myself, they look tired in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm interested in seeing
You can't run the
when
ball.
they play.
That's right.
When they play Oregon and when they play USC. I want to see how those trenches look in the second half. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to start to get tired? Are they going to be able to run the football? Or those D linemen going to look at it? I'm interested in that part.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can show that they can do that, not to mention, Utah's waiting for whoever comes out of it,
Waiting for anyone.
right?
Agreed.
Yes.
So I'm
Well,
interested in the Colorado
Nah,
season
and what
because
did
if they
to
could win
Florida.
all those games, then I would say
Correct.
Utah is definitely got a chance to make the playoff if they finish undefeated. They definitely got a chance, especially that win
Now,
against Florida.
for me, I'm interested in seeing for the NFL. For the NFL, all right, is it really a quarterback league or is it really a defensive league? And what I mean by that is you got somebody like Pat Mahomes. Great.
Yeah.
They don't win defense without stopping. They don't win Super Bowl without stopping people. Your best defensive player is at home.
Mm-hmm.
you got somebody like Kyle Shanahan who has the highest paid running back in the league, the highest paid defensive player in the league, the third highest paid D tackle in the league, the third highest paid linebacker in the league, and they didn't change coordinators 2 times in the past 3 years, and the numbers are still staying. So is the players are the players. You had somebody like Buffalo with Von Miller, where they only lost 2 games with him, and then when he get hurt, they limp through the rest of the season. You got an unexpected defense like Miami, who's filled with young, up-and-coming talent, and it's monstrous. The quarterback position is kind of shaky. All right? So, does defense really wins it, or does the quarterback really wins it? Because quiet as kept, Jalen Hurts had a hell of a year last year.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That defense had a historical year.
Yes.
Yes.
Nobody talks about that.
No, they don't.
Nobody talks about that.
Hargrove and Hassan Ringman did last year on that D-line.
And those D tackles they have too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Over 70 sacks?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's ridiculous right there. Quiet as kept. The Giants made the playoffs last year
Off defense.
off of defense.
That's why Dexter Lawrence got paid.
Dexter Lawrence.
Yes.
Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, you know.
Shit, Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams is
yeah,
still.
you know what I'm saying? So like that's a hell of a D line right there.
That's it.
You know, the Jets lose so many games last year simply because if they score 10 points, if they just average 10 points a game,
They would be in the playoffs.
they win 11-6 last year.
Yes.
If they average 10 points a game.
And then not to mention, to your point, when people want to bring up Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed on the other side.
That's
Yes.
It's like that.
But to me, they talk about Sauce. I get it because
Top 10 pick.
He's flashing all that stuff. That shit don't work without Quentin Williams.
He's unblockable.
Because
Yes. He's unblockable. He's unblockable.
He gets people off their spot and the ball gotta come out. Why the Saints? I
was a pass rusher too.
I appreciate
Jermaine Johnson, the rookie.
Yeah, I appreciate the Derek Carr signing. I really do. I appreciate the Jamal Williams signing more than I appreciate the Derek Carr signing because it brings Alvin Kamara back into that role where he shines at.
Correct.
He led the league in touchdowns for running back.
But
17.
What I love is the Brian Brzee, the 3D tackles that we signed in free agent and Colin Saunders. You buying more time for Cam. You got rid of Davenport. Carl Granderson now sees it as an opportunity. He's hungry.
Yes.
He's just as
Peyton
explosive.
Turner needs to come along.
Let's see what's happening. Let's see what happened right here. You got DeMario Davis. The only thing I'm worried about DeMario, he's on that wrong side of 30. 34. In the middle.
Yes. Health can start being a concern.
Can Pete Warner play a whole damn year?
Good luck.
You know what I'm saying?
That. I don't see it happening.
But you know what I'm saying? But
he has a hard job at linebacker. The cover all of those tight ends. The cover. What he doing in space, man? I can't expect 16 weeks.
That's why I'm stuck on the defense because like you let go Brad and Roby. Everybody's like, man, what's going on? I said, man, do you not see
Alontae Taylor?
They want Alontae, yes.
But it's not even one Alontae. Like the competition between Alontae Taylor and Paulson Adebo is so goddamn fierce. That you got a 3. It was starting to. I'm not saying that there is because they were Pro Bowlers. This was proven, you know, and they were Pro Bowlers for multiple years. And I'm talking about the Eagles when they had Bobby Taylor, Troy Vincent,
Lito Shepard and Sheldon Brown behind.
But not even that. Al Harris was on there.
Aaron Harris was there,
and Brian Dawkins
was still there.
You know what I'm saying? So like
Dawkins.
you had it looks like that's what they're trying to do. But like a competition made them that way. So now Marshawn Lattimore, like they coming after him. Like, man, I'm the top dog. Man, let me show you. That's why.
Coming.
So it's like, is quarterbacks really the thing? Because like you could have a subpar quarterback and have an elite defense and win a damn chip. Win a damn chip. The thing that.
But the team who won the chip was an offensive team last year.
You're right, but they made enough stops.
That's what it is.
Defensively to win that game.
Jalen Hurts don't fumble the damn ball. They don't win the championship.
Yep.
That's just what it is. Because that D-line stuff.
I ain't arguing nobody on that one.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing,
I'm the second quarter fumble, but I ain't arguing with you.
but
but that's when it turned.
It turned.
Momentum.
right there.
If I ain't about to argue with nobody.
You know what I'm saying? the thing that
I look crazy. I lose credibility.
the thing that I'm most disheartened about though, the LLC-ness of the NCAA. College football used to be better than the NFL simply because of traditions
Yes.
and the pureness
Totally
of what. Look, we joke about it like because him and G are diehard Michigan fans.
Michigan fans.
Like, so like when we was losing to Alabama, they were like, y'all lost to Alabama. Motherfucker, did y'all beat Ohio State yet?
Nope.
And it was like, but it was like
Beating them now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But it was like, hey, what we doing now? Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So it was. I knew if in October, and I'm not a Michigan fan, but I knew in October if I turned on the TV and I see Michigan versus Wisconsin or Michigan versus Ohio State, I'm gonna see a damn good game.
Yes.
I'm gonna see a game that the fans are so invested in too.
That's correct.
That's right.
I know, just like with them, they knew if they turned on the SEC network in November, they gonna see Florida versus LSU.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna see a damn good game, regardless of the record. You gonna see a damn good game with
I can watch LSU versus Arkansas.
You know what I'm saying?
Going down.
It's about to be a damn good game.
Down.
Yep.
But now you telling me like the two teams that the SEC added, I don't have a problem with because they're in the South.
Mm-hmm.
They're right there.
It's a region thing.
You got Texas. You already got Texas A&M. You just bringing Texas in. So you just brought you brought over a rivalry that's already. You brought in Oklahoma, which there's already a rivalry. So like you keeping it right there. I don't, for the life of me, next year, I'm not gonna want to watch Michigan versus USC. To me, it's like where's the passion at? This is strictly about checks.
It's a check.
Oh my
That's
God.
it.
The thing that to me, this is why I'm so disheartened about it. It affects the kids.
Yes.
Because could you imagine? Let's say Tulane University wasn't the prestigious academic result that it is, and instead of being uptown, it's right here in Marrero. All right, family, friends, like so. That means for people from the coast of Mississippi to damn near the third coast in Texas can come here, and people can you could drive to a game and watch your kid play.
Yep.
You could drive to the game. You could drive here 6 times and watch your kid play. And if they go play, so if they right here, that mean they probably gonna play University of Houston, Rice. Yes. Oh, I can make now. I just went from 6 games that I can make to damn near 10 that I can make to support my kid. Scratch that now. I just went. I didn't move you to the conference next door. I moved you to a conference on the other side of the country. So now, let's just call a spade a spade. Most of the kids that's getting scholarships, especially the skill player provided, are African American.
That's right.
Most of them come from underprivileged places.
Yes.
Most of the reason why they pick the schools that they go
it's
to.
the region that they're living in. Yeah. If
Mama
I'm a
can
California
make
kid, mama can make the school if I'm in California.
That's right.
Now, if you trying to tell me 4 times of the biggest games and all that stuff, mom and dad ain't gonna be there because we gotta go to Wisconsin. We gotta go to Ohio State. We gotta go to Michigan. The fan base ain't gonna be able to make that either.
No, not at all.
Nope.
Think about how many weekend warriors you got. Hey man, look, LSU playing the weekend. Look, I'm taking Thursday. I'm taking off. We gonna drive up. We drive up to Knoxville.
Yes.
We gonna tailgate. We gonna be at the game. We got Monday off. When we come back, we gonna too. You can't do that if LSU say, you know what, we now part of the Pac-12.
No, not at all.
How the hell we gonna do that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's what, to me, that's what's disheartening because I feel like for the fan, traditions is what made
college sports.
College
sports.
You know what I'm saying?
College sports.
Like
basketball, football, it don't matter.
Whether your team was elite or I remember Jerry Denara with Herb Tyler. LSU was at as low as low. But you couldn't say nothing when that Florida LSU game came on.
Yeah, nothing at all. Right.
It was about to be And I'm talking about this is when they was winning.
Yeah.
Danny Werfels and all, you know what I'm saying?
You
like
go down into the swamp or you go down in Death Valley.
it's about to be
It don't
a battle.
matter. It's a battle.
I don't care. The Lloyd Cars and whoever who came after
At the look, Rich Rod.
Rich Rod, but in the
Brady Hope.
Brady Hope. That's what I was thinking of. You know what I'm saying?
But Brady Hope played at Michigan.
Yeah, but like right after, like I don't care what their record was, how good their recruiting class is. When they played,
shit, you get to
the
pay
Scarlet and
when we play Ohio
it's
State,
about to be
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Yeah,
it's about to be.
It's about to go down.
You lose that now because now you got everybody else coming in, trying to get into what you already have, and the people that's going to suffer for it. One, the kids, and I'm not even talking about the kids of the major sport. Think about your volleyballs, your soccer,
tennis,
your
swimming,
you know what I'm saying? All those like, hey, look, my kid not 6'5", 300 something pounds.
Yep.
My kid is 5'8" on stilts, and he swim like a little goldfish. He out of there. We gon' I can make it to all the meets. I can't make it to none.
Right.
Not at all.
Yes.
The attitude
That
you're
wasn't
saying.
thought about.
The attitude what you're saying. That's one of the disheartening parts about me. I have to agree with you. Mine's with the same thing. It's that tradition of everybody know the conference will really and understand this. Here's the other part that I'm gonna add to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you had conferences in certain regions because it's really time zone specific. You got teams now that are going from the West Coast to go play a game on the East Coast, a conference game. So imagine if you're USC
Going to Rutgers.
going to Rutgers. Oh shit!
Yes. Over 3,000
That's
miles.
Rutgers.
7 time zones.
That's 4.
4 times.
That's 4.
Pacific to Atlantic.
Pacific to Atlantic.
Mountain.
Pacific Mountain, Central, Atlantic.
There's a reason why if you're watching pro football, the AFC West and the NFC West generally comes on for our timeline at
3:25.
3:25.
Yeah.
And because over there it's 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Right? So they catching that noon kind of time where we're kind of catching the later point time in the day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to tell me that you got a school now in UCLA that's got to go play Wisconsin. They got to go play Maryland,
Penn State.
Penn State, in the whole Eastern time zone. What are we doing?
But then also think about this. Think about it going the other way. Think about it coming the other way.
That makes it even worse.
Exactly.
Because when
I'm
a
coming
kid
from New
from
York.
Maryland,
Yes.
come from Maryland, got to go all the way to California. It's a conference game. And we're not just talking about football. That's basketball. That's baseball. That's track and
all
field.
sports.
That's
All
volleyball.
sports. Yes.
That's women's sports. This is ridiculous.
This
Beyond ridiculous.
There ain't no much
The money-making
revenue.
venture is sad that the money-making venture is killing the
It's
traditions
killed the
in college
tradition
football.
of what it, not just football, but just college sports.
Sports
It
in
was,
general,
it's
yes,
just,
you are correct.
it killed it because it's the region, the time zone part was critical.
Yeah.
Listen, it was called the Pacific Coast Conference.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yes.
What are we doing? Southeastern Conference. Like, forget the abbreviation. That's what it stands for.
Geographically.
Geography
It made no sense.
made it what it was.
Now,
And people remembers the Southwest Conference way back in the day when Arkansas was up in the conference, and then all of a sudden it turned into the All Texas Conference, more than anything else. And and it's crazy that it changed a lot because how college sports is now affected. I give a lot of props to schools like Florida State, who's continuing the rivalries with Miami and Florida. Like a Pitt and Penn State, they still play. Like West Virginia and Pitt, they're back with the backyard rivalry. I like how some of these colleges are still fighting and said, forget what college football and what college sports is doing. We're still going to play each other.
Yeah,
We're not stopping.
but here's the problem.
But it's a huge. But what y'all saying, I agree. That's a huge problem.
A whole
period.
conference got dismantled.
Yes.
Pac-12 is
Pac-12.
gone.
In a year.
It took 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. It's gone.
But it wasn't so. The first conference that I can remember, when I was really paying attention, I remember the Big East getting
Big East.
disbanded.
Yes.
But it's
Big
like,
East.
with like how they disbanded though was like it was still smart. Like they had time. Like, all right, well the team that's right here, y'all just go to the ACC.
Yep.
The teams that's right here go to the Big Ten.
Yes.
It's an even split. Boom, boom.
That's how
boom,
that's
boom.
how
And the scary-
that's how Rutgers get to the Big Ten.
Big Ten.
And the scary part about it,
Georgetown and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
Georgetown.
It's like okay, cool, right down the middle. Now it's like monkey, like teams jump because I don't want to be left in. I don't want to be the last team left in this.
Correct.
And the thing about the Big East, they was making a come up in football, and then all of a sudden, here come the breakup. Like, come on, man! It's amazing because certain schools,
but the Big East
and
was a
certain
basketball conference.
It was, but in the last
because you had
almost
UConn
10
in there at one point in
years,
time. I think Syracuse is in there too.
the football was coming up because you look at the success of West Virginia, Syracuse. You look at Pitt was making this say all these schools from basketball was coming up.
But you
even
gotta think-
Louisville.
But
they the championship in the Big East.
But think about it like this too. That was in the BCS era.
That's right.
So it was like it was
And
just
the FBS era now.
You had to, it was just two, and then strength of schedule was key. And if you had to, if you wasn't in a good conference where everybody in your conference was gonna lift you up, you gotta think
You'd be Boise. You was gonna be Boise State.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we good, but it's like, you know what? You never like you're not gonna get in because you playing Pepperdine.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? You playing
DePaul.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you beat them 70-0, but like I'm looking over here at this one loss LSU team, and they came to Florida 17-14.
Yep.
And the lowest person in their conference is Vanderbilt, and they had 500. The lowest person in your conference is barely at 150.
But not just that, but not to pick it off this, but let me spin this around, right? Do y'all think this domino effect all really started when we finally found out that the college playoffs was going to 4 games to 12?
No. I think it started with NIL.
Yes.
It started with like, all right, here's the thing. Like I said, that's why I started off by saying LLC. The LLC is because like you sitting there. Let's just when we talk about football, the cream of the crop is SEC.
That's right.
Nobody's gonna make more money than the SEC.
That's right.
Yo, that's just is what it is. But then when you flip it over,
Longhorn Network.
when you flip it over, then where they coming?
They started riding on the wall. The SEC.
They started right.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because but when you flip it over, and when you think about basketball, well, at a point in time, nobody was going to make more money than the ACC.
That's correct.
So it's like, so now everybody else sitting there like, that's the 2 biggest sports in college sports.
Yes.
So now everybody else sitting there like, man, damn, what about us? Nobody ain't paying big money for baseball. Nobody ain't paying big money for hockey. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do we get in
Track
on
and
some
field.
of that some of that cheese?
Yes.
And everybody's not Oregon.
That's right.
Everybody doesn't have the CEO who just sit like, you know what?
Correct.
I'm making all this money. I care about my school so much. I'm gonna just keep putting. I'm using, but like they thinking like, but he might do it realistically for the love of his university. But that's the huge ass tax write off that he get to pocket so much more money. So it's like Robert is like he's paying Peter and he's getting paid, and his name is Paul. You know, at the same time. Right. So
he benefits.
But I think what it was they sitting there like, wait. We gotta pay. Like people are paying for these people now. So now that's free advertisement that we don't even have to promote now. Now we can jack up. So now, how do I make it more? Well, I just think about the SEC. Let's start with the SEC. We got the best product it is. All right, what's gonna put the cream over the crop? Well, there's no state in America that make more money than Texas. We already got one university. Yes. Let's put the biggest university in here.
Yeah.
Done. Well, we take you. We're gonna take you. We're gonna take Oklahoma too. So now with Missouri and Oklahoma, we didn't step foot where into Big 10 territory. Big. Well, you know, they don't because Big 12 is not.
Big 12 is all like the Midwest.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, but the biggest competition is not the Big 12 for them.
Oh no,
it's the Big 10.
Yes, correct.
But like,
yes.
So the Midwest is like you touch it, Indiana.
Yeah,
you touch it. You right there. Like, hey, we right here. You know that. I think that's what the SEC. That was the SEC move doing. Like, hey, we in your backyard now, and there's nothing you could do about it. There's nothing you could do about it, and you know it. So the answer was They ain't got nobody on the West Coast.
Yep.
California is a big market. U.S. we gonna get the cream of the crop over there.
Yep.
And I think that's what I honestly think. Like, how can we can't. The SEC network is killing everything right now.
But here's the
and then
problem.
you bring in Texas,
But here's
take
the
the
problem.
Texas market, and you kill that. So the only place that the SEC is not gonna touch, and everybody like
California.
you know business wise, you don't have to touch it. It makes no sense. It makes no sense for the SEC to go that way.
also
So
think-
now it's like,
But now
Bring you in.
we basically we went from a Power 5 really to it's looking like from
it's gonna be a power two.
a Power 2.
Eventually, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I also think the Pac-12 not being able to get a television deal also hurt their conference.
Oh, it killed.
That's their fault.
Exactly.
Oh, without a doubt. I agree. Yes.
That
yes.
is their
Killed
fault.
it. Yeah.
They should have when
Because Colorado's also going to the Big Ten too.
I'm trying to think who
Big 12.
Big 12.
They go to Big 12.
They're going to the Big 12. They're going to the Big 12.
When the Atlantic what is when the American conference, the one that's
American Conference. Yes.
when they almost had a TV deal before Pac-12,
Yes.
you bad.
Yes.
You bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Well, they're going to advertise Tulane and Houston.
you know what I'm saying?
What if their majors got a TV deal? Like talking about it?
Now
None.
they're talking
Yeah.
about it.
So
And I think it's not just NIL. I think the thing with NIL, and people are kind of twisting it. Here's the thing. You have to understand this. And some people kind of disagree with me. But here's the thing. These athletes for decades have made money off the backs of these universities. And you have to
Other way
look
around.
at
other way around.
Well,
yes. The
now I'm saying
university
the
made it off
universities
athletes.
made off the backs
Other players.
of the exact off of the players.
Players.
Flipping on that one, my bad on that one, but I'm trying. But here's the thing: it's the fact all that money they made. I did studies on this years and years ago, like LSU, Texas, all these schools. They're banking over $100-something million a year. Even some of the little bit of a bigger schools, they are banking money, and these kids are not getting it. That's why they had to do what they had to do. And the NCAA contradicting themselves, punishing these schools for what? Somebody giving somebody just $100 under the table because the dude barely got any money to go get a meal or do something to go out? It's ridiculous. And that should have been done a long time ago. And I'm glad that they're doing it now to get these kids paid. Now, do they have to have a cap and have control of it? Yes.
I don't think you need a cap.
Not a cap, but something
but they,
to
like,
get some
some
kind of
type
it has to
regulation.
It has to like one coach said something. I was like, you know what? That's I wholeheartedly agree with it. The money, like you set it to where like they can only have it's like a limit. It's like a 401k. You can only take so much of it out without it being hit. All right, and then upon you finishing school, you get the whole lump sum. So like
Yes.
every semester you'll be able to take out. To me, that's perfect.
Yeah, I
Because
like
you're
that.
protecting the kid,
Absolutely.
you're teaching them money management,
Yes.
and all that stuff. But then what it was, all universities wasn't being fair with it.
Agreed.
So, like,
Yeah.
Like
Without a
I've
doubt.
used, I know LSU for sure, Michigan, Texas A&M. Those were the three, and like LSU started it. Those were the three programs for sure that was being as fair as they possibly can legally to their players. Remember that LSU started the Tiger Foundation. They're the first one to have a standalone foundation away from the athletic program.
The TAF, right?
Mhm.
That's-
Tiger Athletic Foundation.
Right, yes.
So what that was, so anytime any player donated something to the school, it didn't go to the athletic department. It went to the Tiger Foundation.
Mhm.
So all donations that came from athletes and business people and all that stuff that want to like, hey, we want to give y'all a new weight room and all that stuff. Just donate it to the Tiger Foundation. And what they did, they took the money and started. All right, well, look, we can't legally buy you a meal.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we can put a buffet in here and just say, you know what, food's gonna be cooked, and the staff leaves at 9:00.
There you go.
Gray areas.
Yeah. Definitely.
Michigan
Yeah.
was the second one, and with Michigan, because Michigan, especially when they signed the deal with Jordan, all revenue from the Jordan stuff, from all the revenue from the jersey sales and all that stuff, and the Michigan, I think it's with the maize blue to
Maize blue.
that color. Anytime something was bought in that color, all that went into they athletic foundation. And what they did, they turned around and spent it on not just football, they spent it on the whole athletic program. And that's what so like everybody stole something from each other. So when LSU saw that, like, well, okay, we was just spending money on football. Let's spend it on everybody now. So they like, okay,
so all departments benefit.
Yeah, and then Texas A&M was like, well, we're agricultural, and we're an agricultural company.
Yeah.
So when we get money from the USDA, that's going straight to the school. Everything else that's donated is going to that, and that's how they started building up. They started building up infrastructure and stuff, and then everybody was like, oh, we can do that with money? Well, now it's like monkey see, monkey do, but how we do it? But like they was being as fair as they could with the kids. Everybody else was like, man, like if you go to Alabama right now, Alabama don't look like a place that's won that many national championships.
Right.
The only thing that they've done in the past couple of years was put some damn lights up there. That's bad. Like when you look at, like when you walk into Alabama, you're like, this is really the house that Bear Bryant built. This is literally the same house. All you did was change the paint.
But but again, that's just everything's changing with that, man. So it's just every school is gonna have their perks and how they do NILs. I just think that if you're a kid getting recruited, I always believe that. I know that's a factor, but it can't be your primary reason for going there.
But it is for a lot of them, though.
And then Bama
it is for a lot of them, unfortunately.
Bama came a long way. You have to think about this. That stadium, Bryant-Denny, it took a long time for them to make it what it was, because you have to think a long time ago in the 80s, they had to play at Legion Field for their home games.
Yeah,
a lot of their home games had to play there. Ole Miss, their stadium way back in the day, they had to redo some things. They had to play in Jackson for their home games. So it was the fact that it took time with a lot of places, but I get what you're saying, that some places, they're not following up, but some, they get it and they feel like, hey, we need to do for these kids. We need to do what we got to do. We need to upgrade and do some stuff.
But here's the underlying cost that nobody's not saying why they hate NIL. It's a slave master mentality. It's hard to tell a damn slave something when he got just as much money as you. I'm technically not your slave now.
Right, exactly.
I'm technically not your slave now.
Interesting.
So like when I start hitting, because think about it, you made your money off of me.
Yep.
If I know Saban personally, he's outside of how TV makes him seem like he's a damn good guy.
I agree.
I know Ed personally. Ed is what you see, what you do, but like good as go. But let's call a spade a goddamn spade. If it wasn't for players like a Devontae Smith, Joe Burrow, whatever, Saban wasn't making the money that he's making at Alabama and Michigan State. He was coaching people still.
Yep.
What happened? He went to a place where players were better.
Yes.
Players were better. So players got better. His pockets got fatter.
That's right.
But it's all off the player. But then it was at the time too where they couldn't. You had full control over them. Oh, you can't transfer because I have to release you now.
That's right. He would tell players you can't go to school in the SEC.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like, I have to release you. Or if you transfer, you got to sit out a year, and then you still have to hope I release you. While the whole time my pocket is getting hit.
Yep.
Now, hey, you can transfer one free time without sitting out. You lost that power that carrot that you dangling over the head, that's gone now.
Yes.
Hey, man, you gotta be careful of boosters, because hey, I know you took money for that booster right there. So now if you don't do exactly what I say, I'm gonna turn you in and I'm gonna kick you out of the team, and no school can touch you now. Here come NIL. Man, you getting $500,000 a year.
But it goes but
that's carrots gone.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, right? And you're a coach, you can attest to this. When you're coaching kids, you want to be able to coach kids.
That's right.
And some of that, part of being a good coach, or being a recognizable coach that's going to be somewhere for a long period of time, is having some level of authority and power. I'm going by what we watched and what we witnessed from programs. Like, let's take for example, Dabo Screaming has came out and say he don't like the NIL, don't like what's going on.
That's right.
The same kids ain't going to Clemson like they used to.
Oh, you can see that.
And they just lost to Duke. So that old heritage of coaching is what we have a history of coaches, particularly at the college level, having control of what's going on. Because at the end of the day, I know we talk about the players, but players ain't rewarded off winning and losses. Coaches are.
That's right.
So coaches still have a responsibility to try to get a team to get to 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins at the college level. And if they can't do that, their ass is out there at the door. The scholarships the kids still have. They don't lose that.
No.
But on the flip side,
I understand why coaches don't like a lot of this stuff because at the end of the day, to coach some kids, to get kids to buy in, they got to have a level of authority.
But see, it's different. You can have a level of authority and adapt to the changes. Prime example, we all grew up in an era where you had to remember phone numbers.
Yes.
You had to know how to work the yellow pages.
That's right.
You had to know how to do it's certain ways that you had to maneuver.
Correct.
Fast forward. We all have kids now.
Yeah.
All right. We think about it. We used to you couldn't just pick up the phone and call anytime. You got AT&T? Nah, man, I'm with Singular. Well, you got to call me back after 7. That's
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So now you ain't got
unless you PCS to PCS, don't call me.
See what I'm saying? So it's like now you don't have that to worry about. So you still got authority over your children.
But I can't ask an older coach that's came up in the previous.
But they have to learn how to evolve with the changes.
That was saying and that's what I'm getting at. So think about it. The kids now. Just think about the same. Just hold that thought. The kids now, who grandparents, our parents, who adapted with hey, look, baby's gonna be on their tablets, baby's gonna be on their phone, they gonna TikTok it, they gonna do this. Dad, do your little damn. The ones that adapted to this is the new generation. They have a great relationship with their grandkids. The ones that come in there, hey, put the phone down. Do this. Do boom, 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 boom. There's still authority for both. But it's like that relationship with that one ain't gonna be as strong as the relationship with this one. And and part of being a coach is knowing what to accept, what not to accept, but also adapting and overcoming. Because at the end of the day, you're charged with problem solving and molding.
I talked to a coach, and he said from years past he was hard-nosed on kids, but he had to learn to evolve later on in life that now certain kids react differently to different things.
Yeah, and not just that, but now you're in this era where obviously there's nothing wrong with that, right? We all have to evolve.
Yes.
I just don't expect older people to evolve because I don't expect older people just to learn new tricks. What I'm saying is this is why we're starting to see I'm a huge Duke fan, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Krzyzewski. This is, it's Bob Knight could not.
Hold on. What y'all team is?
North Carolina.
Y'all just don't know no damn better.
Y'all know better. You know what I'm saying?
Who got more championships?
Who got more championships?
Us. Well, let me tell you something. All I'm gonna tell you is this. Let me tell you one thing. The one thing I'm gonna say, UNC has the biggest victories ever in the rivalry, and you know it. We ended Coach K's career at home and in the tournament. Ended his career. Yes, that's right. Right in New Orleans, in your backyard.
Did y'all win a ship?
Nah, we
got to the chip.
We talk about
we win it, man. We
y'all gotta hash that shit out because you forget we beat who's the best coach in USC history.
Oh, that's Dean.
There's Dean.
We beat his ass his last game.
But you're right.
Ain't no but.
But here's no but. But here's no thing.
Ain't no
but. UNC.
And where we beat him at?
Wait, hey,
we beat them at
you're right. You beat them in UNC's house.
Okay,
but there's many times
hash that
that
shit out.
UNC beat y'all at y'all. We remember many times UNC beat y'all on y'all senior night and won the conference.
We don't care about that shit. Who got the
you
ring,
should
baby?
care
more
on
rings.
your
We got the
floor.
ring.
You know what I'm saying?
We got the ring. The only thing y'all got over us is motherfucking Michael Jordan. That's it. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's it.
And we ended your great coach's career at his house
But
and
guess
his
what?
career.
But guess what?
In the first NCAA tournament game
no one said-
ever
no one saying
against
this-
one
hey,
another.
I'm saying this
That's
game
the
great
ultimate
court.
bragging
Our
rights.
great
Coach K's court.
Hey,
Of course.
our great
respect.
coach that you bring, he got more championships than all three of your coaches combined.
I respect that.
Okay,
I respect that.
and he
I got no hate for Coach K.
he has
I
a
got no hate
winning
for him.
record against each one of y'all coaches.
Roy got 3, Dean got 2, right? That's
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
And Coach K got 6.
So
So about 1. Okay, they got.
he got more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's all
Okay.
good.
It's all right. I'm
It's
still
all-
rocking
it's
with
all
UNC.
cool. We
It's
love
all good.
it.
I ain't leaving.
But
If you gonna-
I visited Coach K's court before.
Yes,
it
I
was
have.
amazing, and I came in there with an LSU windbreaker, taking a picture.
What's
You
wrong
were
with
smart. You were smart because you damn sure ain't going
Hey,
there with no damn.
I
tell you that damn shit.
And they that's what a couple of them Duke fans, couple of them cramming crazy spending the night. And they told me, "Oh, you lucky you at UNC," but I'm like, we can't say nothing. Y'all knocked us out of the tournament. We can't say anything. So
we did
y'all know
that.
how to humble yourselves.
I would say that before we get ready, I want to answer that question to him. Said the most intriguing thing I'm looking forward to the season. I'm a statistics guy. I'm big in the numbers. I follow it. I follow the stats. I watch the games, but I really follow the numbers. We been started seeing these guys, these receivers particularly at the NFL level. They're starting to get these. Started with Calvin, 1,900 some yards. Julio had 1,800 yards that year. We already know that everybody wants. Now that we have an extra regular season game, I mean, just Jets had 1,800 yards last year. Cooper Kupp had over 1,900 yards.
1947, yeah.
Yeah, the previous year, right? Who's getting 2,000? That's the question mark, right? Tyreek had 1,700 last year.
Yeah.
Right? On 119 receptions. I'm intrigued to see if we're going to get that receiver that's going to break that mold with the extra regular season game now. Who's going to be the guy? If we're going to get it this year, I'm intrigued to find out who that player is who's going to stretch the level of having that first 2,000-yard receiving season. I ain't that impressed with catches. I tell people all the time. I might catch, you caught 140. Who gives a crap? How many yards you got?
I think
What you did with the ball in your hand. I'm intrigued to find out if that's going to happen this year. What record is going to get pushed?
and I to jump on your bandwagon with that. I would say it would be somebody that's not a superstar wide receiver.
2,000?
It's gonna be on somebody that has a superstar wide. It's gonna be on somebody that's a well constructed team. What I mean by that, like somebody from Miami could do it. Like Jalen Waddle will be able to do it. Why? All the attention is gonna be Tyreek. All the attention gonna be on the running game because it's
Okay.
as much respect I got for Jets right now with no dealing
Yeah.
and all you have is
Addison, who they drafted.
I
not
was just gonna
Addison,
say
but
Hawkinson.
I
the
was gonna
TJ
say,
Hawkinson.
with Justin, maybe double team more now since
Because
he's the main guy.
you know
Dealing
what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying like if it's just you not about to do it.
Right.
You're not about to do it. Because if that's the case, Calvin Johnson would have did it. When
Right.
that's all Matt Stafford had. That's the whole offense. Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford. But it's gonna have to be kind of like what the Rams did on their run when you had
They traded for Odell.
you got Odell, Cooper, and then you also had the two tight ends, and you had you had what's the
Your boy,
he-
I know you
the
talking
wide
about.
receiver, the wide receiver. He was like
Van Jefferson?
no,
Not Van
Van
Jefferson.
Jefferson was rookie, but it was the other one.
other one.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods, yeah,
Robert
that's
Woods.
That's him. Yes.
So it's like you're gonna have to be in a situation like that where like
Robert Woods,
the guy, everybody. Look, I'm worried about him. I gotta respect him, but it's like this guy's gonna get my third, fourth best. Like so it'll be somebody like Zay Flowers. Think about Zay Flowers situation.
The rookie?
You got
Rookie in
no. I'm saying,
2000?
but I'm saying, but like think about his situation. You got a dominant run game. You got a dual threat quarterback that's going to spend. You got the second best tight end in the league. All right, you got Odell.
Mm-hmm.
You got Rashad Bateman, who was on the tear before he got hurt last year. So now it's like all eyes are not on you. So all you got to do is go beat the fourth or fifth best defender.
Yeah.
And they gon' and best believe they gonna space it out, because what they're not gonna do is, if you play in Miami, with Miami and you already at 1,000 yards, I'm just using that. Jalen Ramsey is not gonna come off of Odell to stop Zay Flowers.
No, not at all.
Because if you take Jalen Ramsey off of Odell about to go crazy, and now you looking dumb. So like, he's gonna get the third, fourth best. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna have to be a situation like that.
I'm just intrigued about it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
What limb you going on? Let me know.
Devontae Smith.
He can't get that many yards.
Because
I don't think so.
I
He can't get that many yards.
He's in a situation
He can't
that
get that many yards.
he's not
He can't get that
really
many yards.
the guy.
He can't
where
get that many
could
yards.
No.
They're
No.
gonna.
No.
I'm
Hey,
just saying,
I love Tay to the fullest.
He can't get that many yards.
I love Tay to
Ain't
the
happening.
fullest. But this is one thing that people forget about the Eagles. This is why I don't have much faith in the Eagles this year. You lost both coordinators. Your defense that got you there got picked apart. And Jalen Hurts only did it in 1 year, in a contract year. He got the money now. And we've watched sports long enough. The only person that after they got the money that still just went crazy was Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes got that $500,000 when I won that MVP.
Yep.
I mean, the $500 million.
Yeah.
And when I won the MVP and got and
Still getting the
still-
AFC Championship, and still getting the Super Bowl.
Still getting
you know, so it's like that's the only person in recent history that we see. So can they do it again? Then you also they think about it. Philly is run heavy,
right.
so passing is
And here's the thing. And the thing about Philly is it depends on what the coordinators do, but at the same time, Philly is set for years to come. This is a young nucleus.
See, I don't think
and
they
you
set for
got
years.
them straight for years.
You got to pay
Here's
Tate.
the thing: if things don't get right with the coordinators, like what's going on in Buffalo, I get it. But if they adjust to the new coordinators, this is a team they're gonna be reckoned with to come. Because you don't have no 5, 6, 7 year guys. You got 2, 3 year guys together.
But that's the
in
problem.
a Super Bowl.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
They're on rookie contracts now.
Jalen Hurts
When they
signed
started to get paid,
a 5-year
they go back
deal,
to that.
right?
Now that
so
is gonna be a problem.
Tay got 1 more year.
You're right. I'm
One more
saying.
year.
Oh yeah.
And you got to have a conversation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not just that, not just Tay. But when you start really looking at the team, like they got 2 more seasons, and after that, the $50 million contract kicks in, and once that contract starts to kick in,
It's over with.
it's over with. Now, number one, it's gonna be up to Jalen Hurts to start developing players, and those high contract guys are gonna start to leave. Once the quarterback start getting that kind of contract, it's gonna be responsible for the quarterback to start developing what's around. Because you're already paying A.J. Brown top 5 receiving money. If you start paying Tate and paying the quarterback, understand if Jordan Davis has a heck of a year, he's coming behind all of that. So you got situations where
Hassan Reddick.
Yes.
So you got Darius Slay was about to be released behind the contract dispute. So you're gonna have concerns.
That's cool.
But Fletcher Cox is getting older.
Fletcher, but
Exactly.
they got a solution.
But
They got
see,
Jalen Carter.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, Jalen Carter.
They got a plug and play.
DTs.
But
Plug and play.
the problem is though, well, you got Fletcher Cox and you got Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham.
You know what I'm saying?
The problem is they got plug and play guys, but think about their plug and play guys. Jordan Davis.
They all went to Georgia.
Was a rookie last
They all
year.
went to Georgia.
Yes.
No, but I'm talking about like this. Just like think about the timeline. Jordan Davis was a rookie last year.
Philadelphia Bulldogs.
Jalen Carter is a rookie now, and Nolan Smith is a rookie now. So
Philadelphia Bulldogs.
you're gonna have to pay all of them at the same time. That's the biggest problem. So you gotta if they gonna win a championship, it gotta be done.
They
It
gotta
gotta be done within these next 2 years.
This is a 3-year window for them.
Two.
At
Yeah.
least
Because
2 years. Last year they got to the Super Bowl, but I'm talking about the total is 3 years.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's a 3-year window for them, but it's a good looking one if they can take advantage of it. But it's a good future, but I can see the problem.
But I can see A.J. Brown probably getting,
But think about
I
like
just want to see who get 2,000.
I got one. I got one for you.
Who?
That might happen.
2,000?
Maybe.
2,000.
in Sean Payton's offense.
Not with Russell Wilson.
We gonna see if Sean can fix that problem.
Don't tell me Jarryd Jb.
And if he can get Judy involved more.
He hurt. He can't catch.
2,000?
Man, Judy.
Hey,
Jarryd Jb 2,000?
Judy.
I would say
don't know.
Cortland
Your
Sutton
boy.
before I say
He can't
You
get
would?
2,000
Sutton
years.
before Judy?
Not 2,000.
because he a 50-50 ball guy. Like
Yeah, he got
you
the
gotta, but you gotta have some speed.
Judy got to win it right now.
Yeah,
Judy gotta win. Man, Larry Fitzgerald had the speed and he had 15. Easy.
yeah, but he got to get 2,000.
He had. Think about it, Larry Fitzgerald had 15 in a league where you still was running the ball.
Yeah,
20
but
sometimes.
you couldn't just catch Larry from behind like that.
You can't catch no NFL wide receiver from behind.
What I'm saying is,
Unless his name Tim
but they
Brown.
ain't Larry Fitzgerald either. Jarryd Jb in the corner, son of Larry Fitzgerald.
You can't
He
catch
no
Tim
Fitz.
Brown from behind.
Fitz top 10 all time.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just intrigued to see who. See, y'all named a bunch of good names. I mean, my guy's Uno, baby. If Uno could get, I think Uno get 2,000. I think Chase. Jamar Chase.
Jamal Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Marrero,
I think
man.
Uno could get
Yes.
2,000.
Yes, Archbishop Romo.
Not it ain't saying all. I don't know it ain't. But
Well,
He should have came down the street. Well, we gonna
he
we
wasn't
gonna
gonna
say
say
that.
Hey,
it's all
hey,
good.
Jimmy already told us, man. He was away from going to either Higgins or Carr before it was J. Rock because he wanted to play basketball first. He wasn't gonna.
He was at Aug.
Yep.
He was?
Yep.
Chase was at Aug.
Goodness.
Mr. Jimmy Chase went to Aug. That's why he went to Aug.
Yep.
Transfer.
Hell,
Went to Rumble.
that goes for everybody. I
Yep.
mean, people go to all
We say we want at least
Came down the street.
we want at least get to a state championship. Yeah. You know what y'all do with town over here. Y'all wasted. y'all like lifestyle
Well,
condoms, baby.
well,
They just there
well,
for decoration.
Well,
about that, VK?
well,
What can you say
all,
about
all
that?
I'm gonna say, L.W. Higgins only sniffed second round.
That's
No,
a
he
lie.
didn't.
They got
You
the
a damn lie.
quarterfinals
Quarterfinals.
against
Oh,
Hornville.
quarterfinals. You're right. Quarterfinals.
Hornville's toughest
And
test. You heard Brian Lee say that.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna.
And that was without Skylar
I'm
Green
not
too.
I'm not gonna disrespect Higgins, and I'm gonna say this. I give y'all props that year, especially in that quarterfinals. Y'all give Hornville hell.
We beat West Jeff too.
In the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
round.
yeah,
We
the
beat
first
West
round.
Jeff when West Jeff had the #1 defensive tackle in the nation.
Marlon Fave, right?
But,
You know what I'm saying?
But see,
You know what I'm saying? We beat
and that
them
was-
off the.
and that- and-
Hello, somebody.
and that was before power rankings at the time. You had to think at the time
Yeah.
Higgins was very fortunate because we have seen that in the last 5-6 years before the power rankings that a team faced each other week 9, week 10, and all of a sudden, they meet in the first round.
Hey,
Or they beat
and-
West Jeff
and-
in the first round
and-
after
and-
losing West Jeff in week 10.
And it was a
and-
coincidence because I'm
and
thinking
we
in the back.
we beat them in a uniform combination that we never wore that we hadn't worn since Nate Singleton played there. Who got a Super Bowl championship ring?
Wow, exactly. Because when I was there for that game and West Jeff just got the win, I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, West Jeff is gonna really go deep, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm hoping they don't face Higgins in the first round. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at the paper Sunday. They got him in the first round. This
Yep.
is this. Oh,
You
West
know what
Jeff
I'm saying?
only scored 2 points that game. Also,
Yeah, man, 2 points.
2 points,
That
man.
was-
Pick
that-
to go to the dome.
Man, don't play with the Hurricanes, baby. Don't play with the Hurricanes, man. How many Super Bowl championship rings y'all got in y'all Usher career?
talking about St. O.
Yeah,
We got a couple of.
Somebody got one of the Patriots.
I know.
I know.
couple
Tyron got one.
people. Tyron got one.
Tyron.
Leonard got one.
Fournette got one.
Yeah,
Fournette got one, and I
Yeah.
think somebody else from the Patriots had
Big
one.
Green.
Yeah, Green got one.
yeah.
Ben Jarvis. So we
Yeah.
got 3 chances. But all I know,
It took 3 people to get 3 championships. We got 1 person with 3, baby. Come on now.
it's
Come on now.
it's all good,
Come
bro.
on.
It's
Come
all
on
good.
now.
We
can say it's
we
all
would
good.
all I know. St. All got this close, got to that dome and everything else. You can't talk either. Y'all ain't want
Man, man,
y'all ain't won since '87.
Right.
So you can't say nothing.
But we've been
You
there.
you been there, yeah.
Yeah, we been there.
You been there, yeah.
06,
But you ain't
07,
never
08.
you ain't never finished the job.
We won in 87.
You didn't finish
That's
the
after
job.
79. So you can't speak. You can't speak.
But you still
It's
ain't won
more
since
recent.
'87.
It's
Damn.
more recent.
You still ain't won since '87.
Yeah.
Regardless, you still ain't won
We
since
more
'87.
recent.
You sound like a cowboy
when was-
fan.
Thank you.
Hey,
That's
VK,
the
when
label they're
was you
giving us
born?
now. Huh?
When was you born?
78.
78. So last time y'all won a state championship, you was 1.
I was 1.
That's a damn shame.
I played on the semifinal team that
That's damn
my
shame.
junior year we lost to Neville.
That's a
We
damn
lost
shame.
to them 7-6.
Hey, look, Higgins ain't never been. Niggas ain't never
Right,
been.
never been. Right.
You never did. But also we was an all girl school up until 85.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know, we ain't been alive as long as y'all been. So that mean you ain't. That mean I'm born in 85. I mean, I never saw St. Aug win a championship.
That boy sounded like the Jets over there.
What
Them Jets.
What is
Still trying to survive off Joe Namath.
I'm like this. I'm like this.
Boy, still talking about Super Bowl 3 over there.
All I know
you
is
bad.
St. Aug achieved in basketball and in track. So
we
that's
don't
all
give a
I
man.
say.
We
It's
talk
all
about
good.
goddamn.
I know it's about the. I know it's about the real
For this
sport.
show.
I know it's the real
We
sport.
talk about football.
Come on.
Twice.
Now we're gonna get ready to wrap up. So we're gonna get into the Hash It Out podcast phase. Yeah. Get into some phase, okay? Doesn't matter. Anyone y'all can go first. Favorite player of all time. Football. Favorite player of all time.
Michael Irvin,
Cocaine Cowboy.
playmaker. Not that I'm a Cowboys fan, but I love watching him play.
Boy, not even top 10 no more.
I understand. Career got cut short early. I understand.
Because he was sniffing, man. Let's go.
Michael Irvin's still my favorite no matter what. Michael Irvin.
He was over there in Irving, Texas.
Oh my God.
Love, all respect to the great one,
Yeah,
Michael,
yeah,
Hall of
yeah.
Fame Michael.
Yeah.
Just having some jokes.
Yeah.
I know you're going to catch it.
Man, I'll tell you, mine. I mean, I've seen a lot of great ones. I'm gonna be honest with you. Dan Marino.
I like that.
I like that. Dan Marino is so underrated. People talk about quarterbacks and people just they forget about the blue-eyed guy that played down in South Beach.
Favorite movie of all time.
Favorite movie. Oh, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Avengers Endgame. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, Avengers Endgame, my favorite movie. Yeah, real talk.
What about Infinity War?
I can't.
What about Infinity War?
Right behind Endgame. Right behind Endgame.
Man, I'm about to check your black card on that.
Oh, man.
What about you, VK?
Well, if you look at Marvel at first, I put Infinity War number 1.
That's your favorite?
That's my favorite
Your
Marvel
fa-
movie.
no, I'm talking about like your favorite movie.
Favorite movie of all time.
Favorite
movie. The Matrix. First one.
This is,
Keanu Reeves.
this is the
Yes.
first time we didn't get like a black movie.
A black movie.
I'm shocked.
I'm just keeping it real.
I'm
Just
shocked.
real, man. We just
You
we,
know,
we,
Morpheus.
we love all movies. It's just like the
Make the jump.
the
You know,
Matrix. Matrix number 1. Number 2 is Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
That's right. Hey,
Yeah.
Took it old school.
when
brother.
Buddy hit the damn split with the guitar, and that
Yes!
rocket came out.
Yes!
What
are we doing? The dude hit him in the eyeball, and he just turned it, and just the dude right there behind him guiding him, and he's shooting like, oh my Lord! I said, this is ridiculous. They didn't done. I thought Desperado was something. When I seen that, I said, wow.
Favorite sneakers of all time. Favorite pair of sneakers.
Oh, you're looking at them right here. Jordan 5s.
The
real talk.
5s.
Jordan 5s, my favorite.
I only do 13s, brother.
I'm a slipper guy myself.
That's a good question, man. I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go old school. Ewins.
Okay.
The Ewins.
That's first
Oh,
one.
Ewins.
The old Ewins.
Ewins.
heard
Going back.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Should say Griffey's.
The Griffiths was good too.
Pippins.
The Griffiths was good
Well,
too.
the
I like
Tempos.
the Griffiths too.
Them
Tempos.
Pippins were cold.
Oh,
Mother
yeah,
Tempos.
yeah, I had
Mother
them too.
Tempos.
Yes, I
Without a
did.
doubt.
But I'm gonna go with the Ewins, man.
favorite comedian of all time. We got to run a tally right. I'm winning this right now. And I'm gonna judge y'all
comedian
very harshly if y'all don't say the right answer.
Oh, man.
There's only one answer.
His name is not coming in my head right now, but I saw him.
Really?
Yeah, what's his name?
He's living. He's living.
He's living. He's living.
Oh, you-
Definitely.
Because it was
Definitely not
the
his favorite.
Yeah, you
It's
got
the funniest I ever seen. Oh, what's his boy name, man? Undercover Brother.
Eddie Griffin?
Yes. Eddie Griffin.
That's a first.
That's a first.
Eddie
That's a
Griffin,
first.
that's a
Eddie
first.
Griffin is a first,
Yes.
and he's extremely underrated.
Yes.
I think you got you got to have like a certain type of comedy for Eddie.
Eddie good now.
Eddie is
I've
good.
been to a lot of
I've been to a lot of
comedians, and that was the funniest one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In person. Eddie Griffin.
Eddie Griffin.
In person.
A lot of great ones, but Nothing can top my favorite, Richard Pryor.
I wouldn't say nothing. You ain't
Nothing can. You got different. You got different. You got different levels of it. No disrespect to Bill. No disrespect to Eddie. They were awesome. Something about Richard Pryor, especially the old comedy stuff, outside the language, the stories were so funny and wild. It's just like storytelling in itself. It was like the beginning of where comedians really told stories. Like he
I feel
really
like if you say
told
Richard Pryor, I
stories.
feel like you must love Muhammad Ali. It's like the same era.
Yeah.
You got like Muhammad Ali or something. So if I say favorite boxer of all time, you say Muhammad Ali. You be like,
I got
you
some,
took it.
I got
You took it
something
back.
different though. You say
So
boxing.
I'm still in the league. I'm still my guy's still in the league.
Who your guys?
His guy's Bernie
Bernie
Mac.
Mac.
Hey, nothing wrong with that,
Bernie
bro.
Mac.
Mine's is Eddie Murphy.
Hey, nothing wrong with Eddie, man. Not at all.
Mine's is Eddie.
Nah,
Oh, my goodness.
G is
Chris Tucker.
Chris
Chris
Tucker.
Tucker. I ain't got no problem with that either.
Ooh, it's cool.
I ain't got no problem with that.
You know, I'm winning.
Legends.
By far, it not even close. Not even close. So I take my win any way I can take.
Favorite basketball player of all time.
Oh, without a doubt, the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. That's my favorite.
Mike.
Yes,
Wanna be like Mike?
that's right.
I gotta agree with my man. Mike is the greatest, but my favorite, Allen Iverson.
Okay.
I respect that.
I respect that.
Okay.
I respect
I respect that. Iverson changed. Listen, I don't think if it wasn't for Iverson, I think the way the fashion is of the league wouldn't be.
But you got to think the rules.
You're right
He was
about
the
that.
first one to challenge the rules.
He challenged the rules.
Yes, big time.
Everybody's wearing suits to the games. I remember watching NBA guys who were coming in there with suits and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Man, Iverson come that before the fucking
Obviously got T-shirt, he got
T-shirt on, chain on,
yeah, baggy
tattoos.
jeans,
Headband.
tattoos, yes,
You know, baggy pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
exactly.
Iverson's-
Jerseys.
Iverson's story, I mean, he had to overcome a lot for him to be where he is. And when you look at the documentary on 30 for 30, what happened with him, I mean, just mistaken identity. And it was crazy what he went through. And for John Thompson to look out for him, to give him that opportunity. And for him to do what he does. And not just that, he overcome a lot of things in life. You look at him now, he's doing great. And keeping himself out of the limelight, he learned his lesson. And a lot of people say it wasn't him, it was the people that was with him. So he tried to live a good, clean life. He know he wasn't perfect, but he tried because he knew he tried to overcome what he had to come from, especially in Newport News, Virginia.
last question.
And he gave hope to short people too.
Yes.
Yeah, hope to you, Fred.
I thought Muggsy did that.
No, it was
Yeah,
out.
that
I
too,
know, I'm
that
not
too.
doing it.
No,
Muggsy
that too.
started it, but
Yeah,
Iverson gave you the
give you
picture.
that.
Yes.
Spud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spud, yes.
So Spud too.
Spud stuff.
Duncan, yeah.
Spud stuff. My last question, and I'm gonna go into y'all wheelhouse. Favorite wrestler of all time.
Favorite wrestler of all time? Man, I got so many, but
You only pick one.
I can only pick one. Rock. Dwayne Johnson.
If
Alright.
this smells,
I,
but
I,
the rock
I,
is cooking.
I think overall, like he's overall, like when you talk about entertainment to
The Rock
to-
says.
like he's the best. Like it's not
Rock
even close.
says.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
He's the most electrifying man of all the sports.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
The Rock says.
For
that rule.
me, I would say one person, but I gotta go with two because of
Two?
the fact that this guy.
You got two teams in
start-
college football.
Yeah,
You
it's-
got two
it's-
teams. Huh?
No,
Oh,
it's,
you all
it,
over
I- it, it start.
God
It
damn.
start. I'm saying this because
bad.
this
You bad
wrestler,
.com.
this wrestler should be up there in the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. I'm gonna name one. One is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Bling.
Stone Cold Steve Austin really changed the game, especially for the WWE Attitude Era. And for him to be the aggressive person he is, but not just that, being a person that challenges society and everything else, especially with the WWE. I love how he carried things
They
out.
think The Rock, the way he was acting on those stunners.
Oh,
Boy, the
man.
Rock, boy, the
sell
Rock.
them.
He sold them.
Rock
A
sold those
lot of
stunners.
people sold those stunners, man. But, I mean, he was amazing. The other wrestler is Chris Jericho. He should be in the
Unbreak
Mount
the walls.
Rushmore of wrestling right now, to be honest. Because what he's doing, not just back in the days, but now.
AEW.
What he
What
doing
in
now? What he doing
AEW,
now? What he
and I'm
doing?
talking about helping the young talent,
Oh, okay.
breaking in and everything
Oh,
else into a new federation that's been there for years now. But
Chris Jericho puts over the younger talent.
and then on top of that, he has won in almost in every federation he has been in.
Because he had a good looking face.
I would give Jericho credit,
but he has skill
when it came to the mic.
Yes,
he was the only person in that Attitude Era where I would say if he had to get on that mic with any the only person he didn't oppose The Rock, but he was the next person with that microphone in his hand. Mm-hmm. Boy, Jericho gonna let you have it, boy.
Oh, Jericho
gonna let you have it
on the mic. He would.
Win or lose, he would. Win or lose. Oh man, yeah.
You just made the list.
Ultimate Warrior.
I respect that.
That's how he did.
Hey,
on the rope.
I respect that.
Hey, he was just something different.
He was jacked up,
Yes,
man.
Something different.
He was different.
He was just something different. It was like I didn't want to go with I love The Rock. That's 1B for me. Mm-hmm. But I've always been the guy I don't pick what everybody else favorite is.
Yeah.
When you talk about it, everybody will go, they'll pick your Stone Cold, they'll pick some people, you have your Undertakers, you have,
correct.
Your Hulk Hogan, I was me,
right? Your John Cena's,
Shawn Michaels and all that stuff. Me, it was Ultimate Warrior because it's totally again, but you couldn't deny it.
Yeah.
I say this is the reason why you can't go back and forth yeah. Leave it alone.
Speaking of the Warrior, man, it was here in New Orleans, and I was there in the arena for his last in-ring appearance. And the next morning is when he passed away. That was just crazy to me. Wow. Unfortunate.
Yeah,
was it the year that was the first time WrestleMania?
First time he was
Oh yeah,
he passed that Monday morning.
That he sprinted full speed down. I was like, what the hell wrong with? I was that was my guy too. I was like, man, he owns something today, boy. He was slid in there.
Yeah, he
got up, and the paint ain't sweat.
Nothing.
I don't know what type of paint Sting was using, but my boy Ultimate Warrior's paint stayed up there it was spray paint on that sucker.
Listen,
got a little Sting. Man.
Favorite wrestler of all time is Randy Orton.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Randy's so smooth in that ring. He's so fluid, man.
Bad.
Randy is.
You just seen so much. I'd rather you say D-Lo Dan Brown.
Stop
it,
man. You gotta put some respect in the Viper name.
Shit.
Respect the Viper, though.
I'd rather you say
Randy Orton. Yeah. Well, listen, man. First of all, man, appreciate you guys coming in here, kicking it up with FanView FanView podcast. Listen, we appreciate y'all coming in, man. We got down to a lot. This episode, man, got down to a lot of nitty gritty. We except the fact that St. August never gonna get there.
Yeah,
I'll get it done.
That curse might end this year. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Ain't Carter in the Cat in the league?
All I'm gonna tell you. My boy Nick Foster's gonna find a way. We know cause in.
I love Nick. Shout out to Nick Foster.
Yes.
Shout out to Nick Foster.
It just all I know. All these years with the championships, all these splits and everything, you have to think over the years. Lance Walker, St. James, East Jefferson. It's gotta happen. St. Aug's got to end this. And I think it's got to end it this year.
Y'all let the Jets. Thank you for y'all watching the FanView podcast.
In the words of Bryce Brown, good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. Listen, thank you for everybody subscribing. Thank y'all. Get subscribed. FanView podcast. If you're on YouTube, it's FanView podcast. If you're on IG, it's FanView podcast. If you're on Facebook, it's FanView podcast. TikTok, FanView podcast. And if you're on X, it is FanView NOLA. Don't forget to subscribe to us if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you name it, the FanView Podcast, it is there. We can't stop. We won't stop. I'm that boy, Fred.
Coach Hurricane Hen.
Y'all give a big shout out to the Hash It Out show. Deeply appreciate it. Get subscribed. Get locked in to all their social media accounts. And don't forget about New Orleans Talk Network. If y'all in the search to get y'all podcast off the ground, up and running, follow the New Orleans Talk Network. If y'all on any social platforms, NOTN app. If y'all on IG, NOTN. If you're on Facebook, New Orleans Talk Network. We deeply appreciate y'all. And we out. It's that boy Fred, host of FanView podcast. Tune into the NOTN app, weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.